Welcome to Unfiltered Discussions. You got Nash in the building.
Got Ash in the building.
You got the boy C Hop, the neighborhood wise man in the building.
You already know, man. It's your boy Creed, man.
Okay. So, Creed, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Creed Forge, however you know me. I mean, that's how they address me. Born and raised South Philly.
That's in the building.
Project, okay. For sure. Tasmania Projects, man. I mean, more than half my life. I started rapping maybe like 97. Put a lot of work in the streets, got my name out there, and got, neighborhood hood fame as they call it. I mean, I've been doing that for a long time. I'm rapping for maybe 20 years, putting in a lot of work. Basically, they call me a legend now. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all not familiar with me. Hopefully, y'all get familiar with me. But family man now. You know what I'm saying? Came up in the street. You know what I'm saying? Got out of it the best way that I could. You know what I'm saying? Try to make a transition to a different version of me. I'm Muslim. Married man, father.
I love it. Okay, good.
Oh yeah, but I mean, reiterate, you know what I mean? Neighborhood wise man, like I said before, been through a lot, man, been through a lot. Ups and downs, highs, lows, always been a person could get advice from. That's where they get the wise man part from,
Okay.
And it ain't too much in life that I haven't experienced or been through. So I get a joy out of like guiding and helping the young people, the community, or people my age, whoever, like kicking it or whatever. Like he said, made a transition, man. Trying to do a family, trying to just learn, because through the things I've been through, I'm still developing a lot of the things that it takes to become a man in the sense of, I guess, family, I guess you could say. Because I know how to be a street man and a man that survived and that type of man. So I'm still trying to build a different type of way of being man. And it takes a certain type of development. And when you develop in a certain way in the streets or whatever the case may be, you lose the household development. You gotta try to learn how to bring it all together. So I'm sure, because I kind of gave a little spill on our last joint about kind of my background. So I just shot that out. I guess as we go, if need be, we can just double back to certain things to tie it together.
Absolutely. I just love the fact that both of y'all, doing this transition, right? And that's, a lot of men don't even get to get there. They either, incarcerated or gunned down before they even be like, dang, now I get it. Now let me get into the family role. Now let me be, what my family needs to be. Not to say that y'all wasn't in your other positions, but this is more in a positive way, right? You know what I mean? That we need. There's too much going on right now. It's ridiculous right now. Everybody know that the gun violence is out of control.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Ash, what you got?
Okay, with that being said, the topic is, how do we determine what version of you give people, and what is that measured by?
So you want to shoot to Creed or so you want to go with?
Want me to kick it off? You got it?
I'll kick it off.
All right.
That's a good topic, because I'm the type of person where I give people, I'm on your energy, you know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with that, I'm dealing with your vibe. Everybody definitely not gonna get the same version of me, that's for sure. If you know me, then you know, either I mess with you like that or I don't. I ain't cutting between. I ain't doing no fraud like I like you or none of that. We ain't that. I don't really have no fake thing. I can't. I don't like to play the fake love game and all that type of stuff. But it depends. If I'm for you, we friends, and I consider you a friend of mine, I'm always for you. The energy is gonna always be there. It's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? But if it's shaky, if I question it, we alright, man, I don't really know. If I gotta feel like I ain't too sure about you, I'd rather just exclude you out of the situation. I don't wanna have to have people around me like, I think he might, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't need none of that around me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of like straightforward. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I cut past all the fake stuff. I try to get straight to it. Like, we gonna be 100 with each other, we not. Can't be 60 years. You know what I mean?
75.
Can't be halfway. It's either 100 or it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when we was talking before we even started rolling, it's like even with the, like in the workplace, like I work, I got a job. They don't get the same version as people that I love get. Like
No.
basically, they don't even really know me. It's just like, give me my check. I'm here to do 8 and I'm out.
And stay.
I'm here to do 8 and I'm out. Like half the time, they don't even know I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how quiet I am. Like one of the directors even said that to me. Like, yo, man, I don't even know you here. Like, where you be at? Like, he like, but that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get caught up in that workplace drama and all that, the game on and everything. Like, I wasn't used to the work life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not proud of it. Like, you know, but, you know, the job that I have now, I've been there for 7 years. That was my first job I may have had in like maybe 15 years. And I'm not proud of that, but I just gotta be real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the street, you know, I was a hustler, fast money. I never wanted to punch a clock for nobody. You know what I'm saying? But as trying to make a transition to a better version of me, I knew I had to step away from, once my daughter was born, stuff like that, you know, I had to kind of step away from the street. I mean, if I wanted to be around for it, because like the way I was going, I was not going to probably be around. I probably have been doing time like my man did, or I might have been in a graveyard right now, you know what I'm saying? So, but I had to really develop, and I had to really learn that work life. Like, I didn't know it was like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a job, like the drama and all of the he, she, all that, like all that stuff that go on in the workplace, I was not cut for it. I didn't know it was like that. But once I got there, seeing what it was like, I'm like, I can't do it. I was ready to get a divorce, because every time I went home, I told my wife I quit. I quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about every night I went home like, yo, I quit. I ain't going back in there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. But I had to really, you know, stay patient and really like swallow it and be a man, you know what I'm saying, and deal with it. But like I said, they don't get the same version as I would give my man chops or somebody that really know me that I love. It's always about the vibe, you know what I'm saying? It's always about like everybody don't deserve to be around you.
Absolutely.
I said that, I put that up on a post on Instagram before, like everybody don't deserve to be around your energy if your energy is always good. Everybody don't deserve it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta learn how to separate the two. That's how a lot of people they make mistakes. They don't know how to balance it, they don't know how to see what's what. They think everybody love them, they think everybody their friend, and you ain't never getting that same love back, never. That's how you get your heart broke 1,000 times, you know what I'm saying? Putting all your trust and putting everything into other people, and they never give you back what you dishing out. So I had to learn that over time. It took me a while to understand that. I was always the one, I love her, and if I love you, I love you. It ain't no my homies and stuff like that. And sometimes it come back to bite you, because it's like an opportunity to present itself, and then you be like, damn, bro, you weren't really there for me. Like I was there, bro. Like the way I thought, like my expectations, the way I thought you was gonna carry for me, bro. You ain't do that. That break your heart. That's hard.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even with a female, like a chick that you really love, you think she really feel you and really love you, she can do something crazy to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you put yourself out there and you expose you let yourself be vulnerable to that situation. You know what I mean? Putting all your trust in them and putting them at a super duper high level. You know what I mean? And you'll get yourself hurt like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nah, that's just it with me. I know I went kind of.
No, that was good.
I'm trying to explain, like,
But that was good though.
There's really no in the middle. Like for me, if you know Creed, it's no in the middle with me. Like it's either we there or we not. Like, I ain't got nothing else simple.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm sociable, but I'm anti-social. Like I'm sociable more. Like I'm gonna use him because this is my man. Like since we was little kids, 11, 10 years old, like back then. And me more, I'm like sociable. So you might get a face where though the sociable me. Like I speak to everybody. I mean I don't even gotta know you. I can know one person in the crowd, it's 20, and I speak to everybody. Man, how y'all doing? What's up? Just based on the fact that I was always taught, when you give respect, you get it. So it's based on that. And sometimes that face may make a person on the sideline think, oh, he cool with everybody, or he willing to be friendly, or he, you know what I mean? Not Joe, because I don't got a Joe persona. Yeah. But it's like under that, but over, you know what I mean, too serious. You know what I'm saying? So you might get that
I'm
face.
the opposite of that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm definitely the opposite of that.
So you might get that. But in regards to like just moving, like you was saying, like I think that when you in a comfortable space, then you got a comfortable face. Like you know what I mean. And you like now we came in here with good energy, and he coming with the energy because I praised y'all with good energy. Or they good people. You know what I'm saying? So the energy is good and it's raw. It ain't like it's faking and we ain't trying to cut in each other with no angle and all that. You know, the way I kind of ran in the streets, I always had to deal with people trying to cut at me for different things. So you had to be able to see who's who.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you get let down, you open people up. That's how I end up getting testified on, dudes gonna stand on me based on the fact that I let him in my small window and it backfired. But so I think that like he's like when you meet a person and you kind of you do your fill out process, and I'm not saying that you can't be fooled, but you do a fill out process, and the fill out phase might be one thing, the initial phase might be one thing, the fill out phase might be another thing, and then they raise a level, they raise to a level where you might say, all right, they seem like somebody I can give them a little bit more. So as you progress in your relationship with whatever person, then your faces will change in that regards. Because you can't give out the vulnerable face from the rip, and then the person looking at you like, oh, all right, I can get right over on this person, or I hope this is what you was kind of looking for. Even in the work spot, like me, I always create work that kind of like be in my own world, and it go back to the street stuff. It go back to being in a situation before that. I don't really like working around people because I don't want to have to deal with the phony stuff, like or people trying to backbite you or get over or whatever. I just try to avoid that as much as possible. What I can use is this: coming from the streets, all right, being religious, right, and going into meeting a bunch of religious brothers, right, and with religion, everybody's faith is on a different level, right. So when your heart is soft to religion or soft to work, or you might love your job like this, or you might go to school and you might love your classmates, whatever. So I'm gonna bundle all that together. So sometimes everybody's intention is not pure as the thing that's being done. So I'm jumping back to religion. Like people might be coming to a religion with that face on when you got your purest face on, because if you're a sincere, true and real person, when it comes to something that serious to you, it's like being a mom and being in a mother's group. You coming with your most sincere face. This is about my child, and like how I say, this is about my Lord. So ain't no this is what you gonna get in its purest form. But then you got people who come as snakes because they not on that level as a parent or as a religious person or likewise. So those faces as well, you gotta kind of like always be prepared. So I think that once a person either rub you the wrong way, show you good energy, show you good vibes, then from that, you'll give them a certain you. You know what I mean? But I try to be like this, so therefore, and I believe this in my heart, unless a person just probably got it out for me or don't like me for imaginary reason, because I never slime balled nobody. You know what I mean? And I always try to be like this, so a person can say that knew me 30 years ago, that know me today, say, man, you know what? He always been the same. That ain't never changed. And that's how I like to be. Like, so I don't have a face where as though I'm coming out with my phony face. Like, hey, yo, what's up, y'all? I don't have a phony face. But when I say my face is just, or I gotta fill you out face, I'm gonna be generous from the rip. That's just my personality. But it's just that. I can shake and hug and stop right there. I'm not gonna take it to heart. You know what I'm saying? So I could be sociable without having no connection, without trying to cut into you, without trying to gain nothing. You know, just what's up. So I can give you that face, but to get to know me, I think that most people that know me, even all of us got a little weirdness to us or a little difference to us. But I think if a person who know me, that know all, they always say, man, that dude is one of the most realest or sincerest dudes that I ever met, because I keep it that way. So I think that when you honor to get, because I feel like in everybody's own domain, they the king, queen, whoever. So when you honor, like if I meet you as a friend or you as a friend, and I'm honored to get your best face, like he said, that's been my man since forever, and it always been the same. You know You know what I'm saying? So if you honored to get a person's true face all the time, I think no matter who the person is an honor to have a sincere, pure situation with a person.
Absolutely.
Because in these days and times, especially now, it ain't nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I don't want to go too long, but I guess I'll come back around.
You always say that.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to be careful, you know?
Yes, but we need to hear it. So I heard both of you guys say that, you basically, was zigzagging a little bit throughout life, You've been working for 7 years now. That's the longest job you held in quite some time. I know you're doing your thing in the work field. And of course, we know before that it was, the street life, right? So, like, my thing to you guys is, what is your biggest challenge, walking that straight path now? That, opposed to when you was in the street life, like, what's the biggest challenge in it?
The biggest challenge, I think, is mental. It's mental with us first and foremost. It's mental. Men, even though pride is something bad in the religion, but men, we deal with pride. Like, I don't care who you is, we deal with pride. And coming from the street, like, that reputation, whatever bones you laid in the street, whatever reputation you made for yourself, it don't leave.
Okay.
It's very, very hard unless you do something like some goofballs. Like, you gotta do something like you rattle, like you turn into a rat or something. You rape a kid or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
something crazy.
you gotta do something like that. But like, if you carry the solid and you carry the right, it go with you forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if I'm Creed, that people see me now, and I'm really pretty much out the way. I ain't in the street. I ain't been in the street for a while. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure people still see me as that. You know what I'm saying? When people see me like, oh no, that's a real nigga. And I don't even consider, I don't call myself a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because the real niggas is goofballs right now.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes that everybody considers the real niggas, they the goofballs out this joint. They rats. They ain't right. They deadbeats. They don't take care of kids. So you can have that real nigga type. Like I'm saying, I don't want nobody to see me as that. I want people to see me as that's a solid boy right there. That's a good boy right there. Like Chop said, like I knew him for so long. Like I can honestly say he been the same guy since we was kids. This dude is the same exact way he was when we was kids. You know what I mean? And he say the same thing about me. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard. Like even in the workplace, if they look at me like I kind of got like an aggressive look. A lot of people say like I don't really smile too much. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to. This is my natural. This is my aura. Like I say, this is me. But sometimes it don't come off pleasant. It don't come off like it's kind of like I'm standoffish. Like to be honest, if I was just coming here and Chop was coming here to pick up something from you, I would have came out and said how y'all doing, and that was it.
Right.
I don't know y'all.
But that's fine.
Yeah,
though.
I don't know y'all. I don't have nothing to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to be moving around in your house. I don't want nothing missing when I was here. I'm that type. I'm gonna stand right there and wait for Chops. Like I ain't doing no moving. I don't want to sit down and
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That's just how I am. I'm kind of antisocial. I can't say that. I'm kind of antisocial. I'm social with the people that I know, and a lot of people like they'll take that as arrogance or no. What tip he on? He cocky and stuff. Like I heard things like that about me.
Yeah.
What's up with him? He too arrogant. Y'all mistake me being antisocial a little bit. That's not good. But y'all mistake my silence for me being cocky or being arrogant.
Or it could be vice versa, and they think you be Joe. They think you.
Yeah. Now if you come and Super Joe is,
he
a snake. I don't really follow. Like
Right.
He's happy. Like what's he going? I don't know him like that. He trying to get close. Nigga might steal a pocketbook or something like that. So, I just I carry like that. That's just how I am. Like,
But I understand.
I'm not really going to come off on a. I know I may come off wrong to people. If you judge it by my look, you're gonna be like, hey, what's up with Boo? I don't really look too happy, like you know what I'm saying. Like it don't be nothing wrong with me. This is me. You know what I'm saying. But it follow you sometimes. Your reputation it follow you, and it can make it hard for you. Even when you make the transition, you ain't in the street no more. But street dudes still look at you as that. They still look like, nah, I don't really trust dude. He was a little wild back in the day. Yeah, I heard he did such back in the day. It travel with you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can hurt you. It can hurt you in the long run. Because you be on the tip like, bro, I ain't that no more. That's 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was 20 years ago, bro. I'm off that. You know what I mean? But they still will be like, no, I ain't.
They don't understand.
Oh, yeah, I don't like
so it can hurt you. Like being in the street, it can hurt you and it can make your transition hard. It can definitely make it hard for you. So
You're right, because I see so many people and they like left the street life alone and then they end up getting killed, right?
yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, like he doing
Oh,
good. Like
that's
what,
real, yeah.
you know, what
It's like what
happened?
transpired.
It's like soon as you like go over to the other side, it's like you said, your past does never leave you. And it's like,
Yeah.
dang, they finally caught up to you, and not that you did anything wrong, but
Mhm.
like you said, their reputation followed you, so they're always going to assume, damn, he's still on it, and I finally in his space, I got him now.
Right.
And then be said, I always look at that stuff like, damn, that's
Like,
crazy.
that's
He
deep.
was chilling.
And
Yeah.
people take your kindness. People take your kindness for a weakness. You know what I'm saying? They'll take your transition like I can honestly say I'm a more humble person now since I became a Muslim.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm more kind of. Well, I still kind of. I don't know. People still think I'm a little standoffish, but you know, for the most part, I don't want no smoke with no. I don't want no trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I ain't looking for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But somebody would take that as, he's soft now. You know what I'm saying?
He's like his gun on cool.
Yeah, nut now. Yeah, you can play. They think they can play with you,
Right.
and that'll mess your whole joint up. You know what I'm saying? That'll mess your whole joint up.
But you know that's a test, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just to see how far you really came
Yeah,
at the end of the day. So the fact that you're aware of that, so now you know you can be on the lookout for that,
yeah, for sure,
right?
for sure.
Because that's your test. I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't even know the whole story, but that's gonna be your test right there. So what was your biggest challenge in the transition from the zigzag life to the straight life? Now?
I don't want to make it religious, but I gotta kind of say.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is your truth. I can only want to hear
I've
what
always
you went
been
through.
Muslim, but I didn't used to know nothing about the religion.
Okay.
So that is the number one thing that helped me. Being away, right? Also, through all my 20s and 30s, right? Coming home in my late 30s, leaving in my early 20s. It took something from me. Not only did it remove me from that stink that I was in, meaning the running the streets and all the stuff that was going on, it removed me from that stink. So it kind of purified me. And you know, it was a lot of times I kind of like was a little salty. You know what I'm saying? You know, I missed like my prime or whatever. And you know, I remember I used to be working out. Kill this thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You feel you be flaming in this joint. But when you really look at it when you step outside the box and not make it so personal, and you really look at it, you say, man, I always try to weigh the benefit against the harm. And it was more benefit for me being away. Now, I miss time with my kids, which I can never get back, which is going to take me a lifetime to prepare those relationships. You understand? And likewise with a lot of other stuff. But so getting pulled away kind of like purified me in the sense of it purified my heart. Whereas though my heart can still be weak to those things, but my heart is not attracted to it. You understand? So me making that transition for me has been a struggle. It's been a struggle, like you said, first and foremost mentally. So now when me coming back into a whole new, I call it the new world order. The world flip is not the world I used to know. So that played a big part in already psychologically is a challenge because like back in the day, it was still sincere love with a lot of people. And I'm gonna go back to your mom, the people who might have been teenagers with your mom when you was a little kid,
Okay.
or went to school with her, and they remember she had you and all that, and they used to have so much love for you because they was cool. And it's like y'all kids, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I watched you was born, and that love used to be genuine. From when you 4, 5, 6, 7 until you a teenager. Hey, thank you. Come here, you know. And with those same people now, even that love is gone. That's what blew my mind. Like I say, that love, I thought that love would never be gone. So mentally, having to come back and not be able to, like some people had the opportunity to transition with it. So they get it more like, all right, this is how the world is goofy out here, spooky out here, and the world have transitioned to this, and I've been out here just ducking and dodging, but it's like get pulled out of the earth and then drop back on. Like, oh, what's going on with this joint? So, in regards to that part, the mental part, that's a constant struggle. And then by me having a reputation that I had in the streets, like I was always like getting a major amount of money. You know what I mean? So I dealt with people all over the city. So I see people at religious spots and they'll, flag you down, I'm saying. And it's like they still ask me because they could never see me other than what they saw me before. Like you said, reputation follow me. So I gotta deal with that monkey. And I be telling my people sometimes, like, yo, I work a lot. You know, I do a lot of individual work, like personal little business stuff, like stuff to be in my own world, because just because people think so different now, and I still struggle to accept the new way of most people thinking. So I like to be in my own world, you know, and sometimes I need that to fight against the desires that I may have. So I might buy me something, I might do certain stuff that keep me feeling like, all right, boom, I still got this part of me in it, but I don't want to sacrifice that for this part. And so your heart be soft to the desires that you've been inclined to your whole life. Like a person, like I started hustling in 88, 89 as a little kid.
Jeez.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that's how far back
I'm like,
I go.
hold on now.
Let me count that up.
Yeah,
I was 4 years old.
That's
Yeah,
how I started. I'm out there with 27 wild caps, illusion bubble caps. 9, 10 years
I know
old.
it
That's
is.
what I'm saying, you know?
Listen,
Got the
I ain't
smoke
talking
old head
for
Muhammad with me, you know what I mean? He bringing me customers. I'm a little kid. My mom didn't buy me nothing for 2 years because of that. So you want to do that? I ain't buying no school clothes, no nothing. I'm like, all right, but I'm making money.
So now you hustling harder
Yeah,
now.
I'm just,
She ain't
I'm
going.
like, oh, I'm selling candy.
They won't go
Sometimes
to
I'm
beats
grinding,
for
I'm
real.
doing it all.
Yeah.
But so it's in my blood. Is what I only
Okay.
brought. I reference that. I'm gonna speed it up. I reference that to say that's how
He said I'm
deep.
gonna speed it up.
Cause you know, being I'm a podcaster too. I don't want this ain't my show. This
We
yours.
said
You know what I mean? I don't want to be all big cuz I'm
Wait,
getting older
you know-
biography out this drink.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, oh, it was still going. But nah, just to speed it up, I use that reference to say that's how deep is in my blood, and that's all I ever know. Like we come from neighborhoods where you had to be ready for anything at any given time. You know what I mean? So we grew up raw, and all of us suffer from. We all got trauma, and we all got PTSD, and all this different stuff that we deal with, and we still got to navigate through that. Cause it's like getting high, right? When you get high, you don't realize the damage is doing. It's cool, like all right, boom. But when you stop getting high, that's when you start saying, I can't think no more. I be having headaches. It's like now you feel all the effects of what getting high does to you. And that's like the same thing when you make a transition from the game. You start to feel the effects of the emptiness of it. Cause see me, I never did that stuff for women or to prove myself to other men. I always created my own lane in my own world. So it just was like playing basketball to me. Shooting dice, shot, all that stuff was like just something to do. So just trying to combat that is staying busy working. Because people, like you said, still gonna look at you with that same light. And now I got people who feel like, man, this is one of the sincere dudes. He a good asset. Now I'm doing my thing. Well, I was one of them dudes that knew myself faster than a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Like we was kids, I knew myself. When a lot of dudes still was figuring themselves out, I already knew myself. What I mean by that is my mind was a little bit more old soul advanced. So I was making like grown man moves as a kid. So I kind of knew myself. Now a lot of people, that's another thing. I'm used to being the leader. I'm used to being the one people call. Everybody, look how you do this, how you do that. And now like everybody done figured themselves out. They don't need me for that no more.
Yeah.
So that's something that becomes missing in you too. Like now I don't gotta worry about them calling me. Now I miss that phone call because I like saying, yo, look, this is what we gonna do. I like formulating a plot and a plan. So all of those things is part of your mental part of your transition. The second part is more so just trying to fill voids to not fall back into a hole because the street life creates holes. And the reason, and I'm gonna pass off, and I guess I can come back down the line, but a lot of people end up getting killed, right? Because a lot of people don't leave the game clean. So they coming to work now and they hiding or they doing a bunch of different stuff after they put a lot of dirt in. So some people ain't forgetting that dirt. If I killed your brother or your cousin or whatever, and your people's not forgetting that, and now I say I want to work and I'm out the way, you know me as being out the way. They still feel some type of way, so they might still bring that back up down the line.
That's why people be wondering years later, like, well, like you said, how did that happen? Like, this person was clean, but they say that, you know, the mindset is a powerful thing, you know, especially when you're trying to transition from one lifestyle to the next, and especially when, like you said, you're used to doing something one way, and now to transition and doing another way is foreign. And they always start with the mindset. So if you don't change your mindset, you can't change the behaviors at the end of the day. Because a lot of people think they can just change the behaviors and be okay, but that's where people go wrong at. When it start with the mindset. Once you start changing your mindset, that's when it starts exhibiting in your behaviors. So my question is, what was that moment for y'all when y'all said, you know what, I'm done, I'm good off of that? Like, what was that exact moment for y'all?
My moment was when I just started getting older. You know what I'm saying? I started getting older, and I started just like, when you sitting, you thinking, when you by yourself, when you lonely, when you're alone, and you just thinking like, all right, what I'm doing? All right, damn, I did that for 10 years. Damn, I've been doing this for 20 years. God damn. And you look up and you getting older, and you like, how long am I gonna do this? I think that's what I think it just went off like the light. It just went off in my head like, yo, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over. And I just stepped away. It was hard. It was hard leaving, selling drugs and stuff, that fast money and your cushion and your comfort you used to, when you got this money put over here, when you know you could do this or act crazy with this, but that's over there, and it's hard to like leave that. You know what I'm saying, to go to work, get a job, and work check to check, and somebody dictate when you get paid.
Right.
When you was in charge of when you got paid. I got paid every day in the street. that was one of the things that I used to go back and forth with my folks about. Like, this paycheck that I just got this Friday for 5 days of hard work that manual labor I just did, that's one day of me running around the street. Probably double that if I'm having a good day. That's hard. That's hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's hard to be like, all right, I'm cool. I got a job. I'm happy. I'm cool. That's hard. You know what I mean? That's hard to make that transition. So, but I think, like I said, one day I just felt like I was tired. Like, I'm done. Like, we talk all the time. Like, it ain't a dude in the street, from the street right now, that's stepping away from the street and trying to make the transition, that don't suffer from PTSD.
I bet.
We all suffer. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all may not believe me, but this is 100% real. I'm so used to ripping and running in the street, hustling. Every time a cop get behind me, I gotta pee.
From nervous.
Wow, that's deep.
I don't really tell nobody that. Like, I tell my close friends stuff, like, they know that, but like, I'm so used to riding dirty, knowing that I got maybe
a jail
7 to 15 in the trunk. I got 5 years on my waist, and there's a cop behind me.
Wow.
Now I'm like this. God, please, if you just let me get home this one time.
Yeah,
That's
Firing you up.
Jeezy, I used to listen to Jeezy a whole lot because I related to him. He said one thing in his rap, I swear when he said that, I cried. Because I'm like, he had to, he had to be in the street to know that. He said, I'm praying while I'm driving, it's making me religious. You know what I'm saying, bro? And when I heard him say that, like, that joy struck me, because do you know how many prayers I said, knowing that I got what I got in the trunk, and I'm trying to get from north to all the way to top of west. I gotta ride through, it's there in half an hour ride that I gotta take with 10 to 20 years in the trunk. God, please. You know what I mean? And I'm dead wrong. I'm selling drugs, but I'm talking, God, please, just let me make it back to the. If you just let me make it back this time, I'm trying to change. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy. It's really not easy. But you just reach a certain point where you just feel like enough is enough. Like, how long can I do this? Like, how long can I? You seeing your friends dying. I don't know. It's a lot of close friends. All my homies went upstate. It's maybe me and another one of my homies out of like 15 of us that didn't go upstate and do a stretch. Alhamdulillah for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so grateful that God didn't see that for me. You know what I mean? Because I know for sure, and he know, I could have been doing a lot of time if I got caught. You know what I'm saying? So
it's true.
But it's hard making the transition, but when you know what's right, you just gotta stick in there. You gotta swallow your pride, and you just gotta go and hang in there. That's what I deal with every day. That's my everyday struggle, is just trying to stay right. Like I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, like even some of my homies that's still in the mix, I tell them, bro, I'm finished, bro. I don't know how you still. I don't got the stomach for it. I ain't got the patience for it. Like I'm finished. Like, I mean.
Okay, I like that one.
That's true though, because they definitely won't keep calling you, man. They like the devil, man, whispering in your ear. But like you said, like you just like, for me, it was at first doing fair time, being in there and seeing how it go, seeing my homies my homies around me I got 15, he got 20, he got 25, he got 30, he got this, he got that, he got 27, he got this, he got that, and I remember my first bid. I was 3 years I did, but I had like a 2 to 4 and a 1.5 to 3 together. So I ended up doing 3 years, and I was hanging with everybody that had like life sentences, but I didn't know it. And they like, yo, why you hanging with all those lifers? I'm like, man, ain't nobody I hang with got life. That's how they carried it. I'm like, they like, man, yes, everybody you hang with. And I went back and I asked them, I said, you got life? Yeah, you got life? Yeah, you got life. Separately though, you know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I do hang with them. But that's the people that I gravitated to, and they gravitated to me. So, you know, because I had assets, I had little stuff, money I was going, they're like, man, them dudes might be trying to use you, watch your back. That was their thing, but I looked at it like, no, I'm not a sucker, and maybe I don't connect with y'all dudes like I may connect with them. But looking at them, I used to say, man, these dudes ain't never coming home again. And they used to tell you, like, one thing about it, thorough dudes, they're like, yo, don't, your next time is double, and then the time after that is triple. Don't come back. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I got quadrupled. So I always think about them and say, man, they was a good example. But the good thing is, I got a light at the end of the tunnel. And even though I couldn't see it for a long time, and I tell him that, a lot of times you can't see that light, but when you start getting close and finally see that light, it's a different thing. It's a monkey off your back. And when you go through that, like me, I'm a mental clock boy. So I'm not a stressor, I'm not at work. I set my mental clock and I'm at it. But it affects me in different ways that I don't always recognize. You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the pain that caused, and then seeing my little girls, my son 5, 6, I come on, they 18, 19, I'm like, oh, I don't even know them. Just like, oh, I can't never put them in this position again and leave them like this. I basically, even though I used to pick them up from school every day, give them whatever they wanted, go get them, take them to the movies together, I basically indirectly did the same thing my dad did to me, to them in a different way. I wasn't there for them. How can I call myself a good father? How can I brag about the money or going to get them from school every day for the few years that I did, but when I missed 13 years of their life straight? How can I brag about being a good father? And I used to tell dudes this in school. How can I brag? How can I expect a girl that I might have dealt with, or when I'm messing with thousands of women or different women every night, for her to hold me down and be the soldier and not slip up and be weak? Because I know I'm the leader. I'm supposed to have been the one that held it down and taught you how to be strong. But when you take the lead out of the household, then the house collapses. So now how I'm gonna be mad? You know what I mean? Like how I'm gonna be, oh yeah, you supposed to did this, so now I gotta suck all this up. I gotta suck the fact that every day of my bid I worried about if my mom gonna be living before I make it back. That's the hardest thing to overcome. I'm like, man, every day I couldn't even, wallahi. I mean this, a dude told me early on when I had like 18 months, he said, yo, I ain't slept in 5 years. I said, man, come on, yo. You was in there snoring earlier when I came to get you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm like, man, every time I come in, you snore like he was one of them boys that snored and sheeky like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, come on, yo, man, you in there, come on. But I didn't get what he was saying, but the whole time I wasn't sleeping either. And it took me a few years later to say, man, you know what? I ain't slept in 10 years and I still got some years to go. I ain't slept in 10 years because I'm up all night until I can't stay up no more. Which the benefit was I was studying and praying and doing stuff like that. So I was benefiting from not being able to sleep, but I didn't sleep. And that's what he meant. I ain't see the back of my eyelids because in the streets I didn't, because there's too much money around. You start getting a certain amount of money, you can't sleep. Still to this day, a car, I don't care if the car is behind me and I'm banging the left on the block that I'm going around the block, I'm going all the way, I'm doing like a neck, but a half a mile to get back. And don't let another car, and let's go back to the trauma. Don't let another car pop up and be behind me. Now I'm about to do that whole cycle again until I finally die, and I'm in my own head. I'm dying, taking back trips and all that. I'm tripping just to get home. And I'm grinding my peoples up if I see that they not paying attention. Don't never, you know what I mean? And don't never turn a block with somebody behind you watching. Man, they live out there, but I'm bugging. But these are the things that happen. So when you look at all of that stuff and you put it together and say, is this stuff worth my sanity? And see, I lost my freedom long enough to say, is it worth that again? When I talk to my guys that call me every day or every couple of days and I'm sending them money, I'm talking to them, sending them pictures, and I'm saying, do I want to go back? Because the jail never get better. Every year, every couple of months, it get worse. So when I come out here, then I see now, I feel like this as a grown man. I see some of my peoples that's around me, they still in the top 2, 3, 1, 5 of the niggas in the city right now. And it ain't nothing for me to be a part of that and be right in that circle again. But when I see it, I even go back and forth with them. I'm like, hold up. It's the same stuff we did when I was 21. Different girl every night, shopping at all the highest fashions, fly cars. I did that when I was a kid. 20 years later, what's the point of doing it? What's different? It's the same feeling. It's the same thing. And now what's worse is these dudes is out here shooting and telling. Now there's no moral code, there's no rules, there's no codes of the street, there's no this. And these dudes is violating the women, they violating the men, they violating the little kids.
Yep.
When I ride past Kensington, I still be hurt like, damn, I was a part of that at one point. I was a part of affecting, tearing down the neighborhoods. Like, man, this old head used to have a conversation, and it really started, as I used to think about it, because we used to hate pedophiles, dudes that touch little kids, right?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? And they used to be mad at me for this. I used to go through it with dudes. How better? I feel like we far worse than the pedophile. Oh man, they go crazy. I'm ready to fight anything. What you touch a little kid? I said, all right. I'm not saying that heinous act that they doing, I'm not taking no validity out of it. Because they might mess a child up. And in fact, you know,
they are.
They messing the child up for the rest of their life. I know, I understand pride. I mean, I understand that. So, but I'm saying, we is tearing down communities, and we messing up households, and we messing up us. We was them kids who moms, like, see where I'm from, on my row alone, I was 2-3 years older than a lot of them dudes that was in my row, and I was like, they'll tell you to this day. I swear, they said, oh yeah, he helped me, he did this, because I was like the older one, but we was all kids. Dudes, mom strung out on crack. They whole house, they don't got nothing to eat. I'm bringing them down my mom's house to eat all different type of stuff. And when you really look at that, you look at the overall body of neighborhood and the generations that you affect with this foolishness. And this what we did. We not only affected the people that we were serving, or serving the people who were serving the people who were serving the people who were serving the people, however it went. You affect generations of your own people and your community. Regardless if they was going to get it from somewhere else. So I'm serving your mom and your aunt, is affecting you and your household, because now your mom and your aunt not being responsible in their household. So that's making you vulnerable to be touched. Vulnerable to deal with an older man that you having sex with. Vulnerable to be running around with the son, running around with some older dudes because he's just looking for guidance. When you think about all the stuff that it affects in different channels and avenues, you say, damn, I was a part of that. And that's why I say, of course, it's technically worse if a dude touching a child. But when you think of the lineage of affecting so many people, the impact, you say, man, what's the difference? What's really the difference? It's a tech, and I'm not saying technically or literally,
I know exactly
but what's the
what you're
difference?
saying.
I feel worse because I might have affected hundreds of kids. I had pregnant women, right, when I was a young boy, come to me. I have a couple of my dudes' moms that I know. I ain't say my homies because it wasn't none of my homies, literally. It was my homies in the sense of neighborhood, but not my homies in the sense of circle. Like that, if that makes sense. Moms, you one of the nicest, argue with me. You one of the nicest dudes. I'm not going to nobody else. I'm going to buy. They disrespecting me. I don't want to deal with them. I'm only coming to you. And I gotta argue with somebody's mom. No, look, but that's still my man mom. So now out of respect, like, but she like, I'm going to get it anyway. And they are disrespecting me. And they talking to me crazy. So I'd rather you do it because now I know you're not going to tell my business. And you like, here, man. And when you think about all that, like, you like, damn, I was a rotten scoundrel in that regards. Like, you can be a good dude all you want here, but that ain't cool.
That make me think about that make me think about the Biggie movie, and the lady came out pregnant. He said, "Come on, I don't got time to be no social worker."
That's real, man.
Like, and that's deep. It make you think about that.
It's very deep. At the end of the day, it's like this, right? The way you put that, yes, it broke down so many different things in a household, the family structure, all of that, right? But it's deeper than that, right? It's because they're already at a disadvantage, right? You saying that these are people that's already, and yes, a lot of people. I'm from the projects, right? We all come from different parts of the world that low income, whatever, it's right. But at the end of the day, it was already broken. This is why they even coming to you to get high, to escape the reality of what's going on, right? So, and it's like all odds are already against them. You know what I mean? Everything was set up already because, like I always say, if this is all you know, then this is all you're going to do.
Right.
When it's all said and done. And then people can't handle the pressures of life, right? They fold. Everybody, like, I can sit here and have a million things piled on me and I'm still standing in it, right? But everybody can't do that. So what's the better way to do? I'm going to go and get high. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to go and drown in something else so I don't have to deal with what's really happening in life, right? They don't care if the kids ain't eat. They don't care. And these are people that, some people really be men and women. Got the latest of the latest on. Kids looking crazy as all outdoors. House crazy. No food in the damn house. They probably just sold it so they could go to take a trip. Whatever they then did, right? It all goes back to their mentality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And learn behaviors. When it's all said and done. A lot of people, you know what I mean? And it's like generational. Like, they see this person doing it. It's, oh, well, my mom did it. My grandma did it. This person did it. What we do is, who's going to break it down? Right?
And that's the sad truth.
And then the kids end up in the system. Right? And then the young boys end up in a jail cell or in the grave because now they feel like they got to carry the household because the man is not there, mom is not being mom, and like you said, it open up those doors for you to get raped, for you to be molested, for you to end up in situation you have no business in when it's all said and done. Yeah, and then like I said, the drug stuff, this is even crazier now, and I don't even know, and I know we was doing the crack, right? But then now you got the opioids, and that stuff is just like out of control because back in the day, like you said, it wasn't. I don't know people my age back, like when we was teenagers stuff doing crack.
No,
these people are popping pills. I don't care the ages, right?
It was weird. You seen some.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like, but now it's like them pills and it's really out of control.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sad, and it's just like you said. I don't even know, it was something called Snow Babies that I watched, and the young girl was pregnant or whatever, and she went down Kensington, and she wanted to get high, and they still, they made her do crazy stuff, but they still finally served her, right? She ended up dying. It was a true story, and she was from a nice neighborhood, and that's another thing.
That's what people.
It don't even matter. It kind of sort of like if you're growing up in a two-person household, your parents got money. What's ever in you is what's in you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some people can't do that life, like dealing with life. Everybody can't deal with life when it's all said and done. So what you got, Ash?
I mean, and that's the sad truth, about it all. And when I think of stuff like that, it really puts me in a mindset of like, when you're not, you living in a household and you might have that one positive, role model in your household.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody around you, doing drugs and all that kind of stuff, or whatever the case may be. And here it is, the child might say that they don't want to end up like their parents, but then you turn around years later and they're wind up doing drugs just like their parents, And it's crazy because they're not taught how to deal with real life stuff. They're not taught they're not taught coping skills. You know, so they don't know how to deal with life on life terms. You know, and that's their escape. But today they putting all kinds of stuff in these drugs.
Oh my God,
you know,
that's
and
an understatement.
it's a shame that, you know, we got a crisis when it comes to that, and it's designed to really set black people back at the end of the day.
But guess what? It ain't even just us now.
Yeah.
It's attacking the white people too,
As
right?
far- I'm talking about as
now,
far as- I'm talking-
I know exactly what you're saying, but now there's a big issue because it didn't just hit the black community. You know, the crack was in our neighborhood.
But I'm saying, as far as the fact that these young men is serving these people, and a lot of black males are doing all this time behind the drugs. So it's like kind of like a dynamic where people not really looking at it on that level. Like we black people serving these white kids these drugs and things of that nature, and here it is. Now they're giving out football numbers, and on top of it, now they're gonna give you the body behind somebody who had OD on top of it. So that's another thing that, you know, the black community's got to deal with all these young boys out here serving and doing, you know, out here selling drugs and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of more so designed to kind of set us back in another sense too, you know, us serving these white communities and all that stuff. And then, you know, the 2-parent household thing, you know, in the Caucasian community, here it is, they 12 and 13, and they mom medicine cabinet getting, you know, stealing their medication or sneaking their mom booze or whatever they doing on the low. So, you know, it's all a whole different thing with it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A small thing, because I always tell people this, and I had dropped somebody off from downtown one day, and they had a big house. Their family was happy to see him. They gave me some money for doing it because she was out there in Philly. It was in the county, Montgomery County. She out here getting high. But the biggest thing with that, and I hate the way they promote drugs, because when we was younger, drugs wasn't being high wasn't cool. Even if you came up high, you was like, come on, yo, like you got carried like a nut. So now it's cool to be high. If it's 20 of us, it might be 1 or 2 dudes high, and they gotta go over there, or we all over here while they over there high looking like nuts. Cause now if you smoking, you make it high, cause it stink. Miss Mary over there complaining, she gonna call the law, the cops gonna come check us. So we don't want that around us. Now if it's 20 of these young boys, they all high. And it's all cool, and they promoting it, they on there like, they getting a thrill out of being high.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did want to say right quick before you had chimed in was, the biggest issue with these drugs, whether it's affecting the whites, blacks, whoever, is we are the people who don't have no fallback. Like, we don't have structure to where, though, if we did stray off and get high and fall off for a while, when we fall back, our family, we got the family structure as far as financial, as far as living, they take us back and help us get clean and put us back on. But when the monkey drug moves, I don't care what your money situation is, it is what it is. It is, but a lot of these college girls, I'll be watching them, they drink all day, they popping pills, they having fun. But when they end, they got their career still, and they got their family. So even if it take them another 5-6 years to get clean after school, they still falling back on something. Our people and our young girls and a lot of these young guys don't have nothing to fall back on. So even when they fall back after the drug, after that push, after the chase in the streets, they fall back on empty hands with kids, 4 or 5 kids, welfare, and nothing. And a man that's treating them like trash because they done got war out there. Their body's not the same. New dudes not looking at them not the same. They done lost their self-respect, and now they gonna have nothing to fall back on. Whether it's the guys, the young boys, or the other men, they don't have no education. They not knowledgeable enough to go get certain jobs, so they gotta get the bullcrap job, and you don't want to be there. And these are the things that the fallback for us end up being. The men, as far as the middle class, the upper class people, they always got that structure to fall back on. And they peoples know peoples that know peoples that know people, so they getting put in certain jobs right away. And that play a big part too, even when you getting clean, because you might get yourself together and try to go on a little run, and then the reality, like you said, of coping with life, it hit you again, and you're like, man, it ain't really nothing for me to do. You fall back in that trap, whereas though, they fall back on education, and not just white, it's some upper class, middle class, the blacks, but they fall back into education and they go right and become a registered nurse because they graduated from Penn or Temple or this or that. So that's another big issue too, why when the fall come, the rebound for us is almost like none. Why they got a foundation to rebound on because they got that structure overall. And it go back to what y'all said about the mental, and it's like I forget the word you use, but it's like we just mentally ignorant in a lot of ways, and we got bad habits and characteristics that develop with us through generations. And what we care about is baseless. We care about clothes. Like if I ain't fly, I ain't coming out. If I ain't got these on, if I gotta have the highest price stuff with a little bit of his money. Opposed to, you see a lot of they got McGregor's on out of Walmart. Since I was little, wearing McGregor's. They got a big house, big car, Benz, and McGregor's. We got no house, a squatter that's banged up with some Balenciagas. So like, it's destructive, isn't it?
That's the truth.
That's real talk. It's sad. It's real sad though. I mean, again, I just be hoping that these kids like. But that's the thing, like, and that's why I be wanting to, like, always, if I see a kid or anybody I run into, right, and I always try to see a little bit of what they got going on and try to pour into them a little bit, right? Because you don't know what you may say to somebody and carry them. They can be in a crazy situation, like, well, remember that lady, she said such and such. Even down to, and don't get it twisted, no, I don't like to always give people that's asking me for my money when I ride past, or I don't. But if I'm stuck, like I was stuck in the drive-thru in Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and this man was at the speaker speaking to me, and I was just having a regular conversation with him, because I always want to know the why behind something, you know what I mean? Because I know he didn't just end up there out of nowhere, right?
He just wake up.
Yeah, and he just was like, basically like life happened to me, like, and I said, and I can see that, because he was still trying to do little odd jobs and stuff like that, but he still couldn't shake, that addiction. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people don't have that toolbox, right? That you're speaking of. Like, a lot of people is empty. All they know is to, go back to, and that's the people, places, and things. You got to switch that up. And that was my next question to y'all, because I know y'all saying that, it's kind of a struggle, like walking in a straight line, like, and you got to keep it up in the mental, right? So, has it been a struggle? Did you keep your same exact friends that's doing the same exact things that y'all used to do? Is that a struggle? Do they like respect it? Because some people don't respect that you walk in a straight line.
No.
They still trying to pull you back in, right? So like, was that hard to like, or did you have to switch up who you hang around every day, who you talk to every day? Like, was that like one of the things that y'all struggled?
I done hit the hammer twice.
No, that's real too, right? That was a good. That can be hard. You know what I'm saying? When you grew up with guys, and I got the same friends I had since I was a kid. Like I got the same friends, like, and the majority of it, first and foremost, most of them locked out. That's true. But the ones that's out here, for the most part, we all trying to level up. We all trying to get businesses, and we trying to do things, but you do have your friends that straddling the fence, and it's hard for them to make the change like you made. You still gotta love them if you gotta love them from a distance. That's something I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got homies that still knee deep in, and I know I ain't in, I'm gonna get out your way, bro. Know what I mean? Ain't no sense in me trying to swing with you all day. You doing what you doing. I'm in your way. So I'm way over here, so I'm gonna separate myself in the situation. I still love you and all that. It ain't that. Don't think it ain't no, I think I'm better than you because I'm trying to change, or no, I can't mess with him no more. He's still hustling. I ain't judging you because I see each other too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna get out your way though, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out your way. You need me, I'm over here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sense in you trying to be around something that you ain't doing. That sometimes a lot of people, they not mature enough to handle it. You will have some homies like, oh, Forge, I get crazy, man. Like, this nigga frontin' on me, man. I called him, this nigga don't answer for me. Or he rushed me off the phone 5 minutes and all. I ain't seen him in a couple months. You do got some of your homies that's a little emotional like that don't understand. You know what I mean? But then you have your decent homies that understand and be like, I get it, bro. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no love lost, bro. But if I'm not doing what you doing, I gotta step back because I'm in the way. I'm gonna be in your way. I'm gonna be in my own way. By me trying to be around what I don't want to be a part of. So you gotta learn how to love. You gotta learn how to love people the way you want to love them. I'm gonna love you from over here, bro. If you need me, I am over here, but I'm gonna stay over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, man. Like, I don't see a lot of my homies a lot. You You know, we talk before here and there. And I see some of them more than I see others. It's no love lost. We just in different lanes. We just doing different things, bro. That's it. You know what I mean? It would be best. You got to think for the best for you. It's best for me to stay out the way, bro. Because if I'm gonna tap back in by me being around and seeing you making all this paper, the desire is gonna touch me and it's gonna be like, damn, I used to get some money too. Know what I mean?
Right, why
and
not?
Yeah, that urge come. You know what I'm saying? That urge come because you like, damn, I used to get money too. Like I know I get money.
It's the lifestyle.
My man ain't touching it. I know I can touch it
That's
too.
addictive.
And it start bothering you. So I'd rather just. That was a problem for me personally. Me being around and seeing my homie still doing what I know that I was doing with him. Like, damn, my man still rolling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's still rolling. Damn, you did 50 last month? You know what I mean? And you start thinking and it start bothering you, but you gotta do what's best for you. Right now, I'm in the place, in the space that I'm in, it's best for me to just stay out of the way.
God's so good.
For me, it's more like a double-edged sword. Like I said, by me, like kind of knowing myself, I was always like a leader in my circles, and then by me being in jail, right? It's a double-edged sword. And it hurt. I'm gonna keep it a beam. Like sometimes I don't got nobody. You know what I mean? Like so it put more pressure on people that is around me because the voids that these people used to fill in my life is empty. Like I sat in jail up all night in the feds wishing dudes and people was alive. Not my main concern was my mom and me making it back home. That was number one, and my kids, that was numero uno. My mom, I'm gonna keep it a beam. My mom and my kids was like right there, and me, and then everybody else. So like, even still, I'd be so happy to see people. They probably don't even dig it. Not no new people, but people that I knew from yonder because like, man, you made it. I remember every time I call home, somebody was dying and all that. So for me, it's a double-edged sword because these people was all I ever knew. You know what I mean? I don't have no need for them and they don't have no need for me. So now I'm lonely. You understand? Like this the other side of like everything he said I agree with. But this the flip side of it too, that you run through these issues where you lonely. Like I ain't got nobody like because it's like I can't really hang around y'all like that. Cause, and I'm gonna say it from the opposite side from what he said, from to give y'all two perspectives. But I agree 100% everything he said. So I'm gonna just give you another side too. So now I can't be around y'all because being around y'all might touch my weakness. So let me stay back. So I gotta pick and choose when I can be around. But at the same time, it's like when everybody got stuff going on, trips, this, that, and other, I'm left out. I'm like, man, ain't nobody dial me out. Yeah, ain't nobody send me a text or dial me out. Like, I mean, so like, it's like, then you like going back to the social move, but anti-social. Y'all meet a lot of brothers at the mass jet, no dudes from jet, whatever, but they ain't my people. You know what I mean? So I can't, I'm always going to be sheltered because dudes, I always had to deal with dudes on angles. You know what I mean? I still got a few assets that may make a person think that, oh, he might still be in the street, but I'm not. So I always got to watch for the hook. So I got to worry about that. So I'm not inviting nobody to my personal space, to my heart, to me, because like he said, sometimes I can wear my heart on my sleeve. That's why I either deal with you or don't deal with you at all. Don't confuse me speaking and being sociable with me dealing with you. Like he said, I'm the same way. I'm anti-social. I love the people I love and I deal with and I care about those people. And mainly, and I always just say this, a person that I grew up with and knew my whole life from kindergarten on up hurt me before I hurt them. Because my love for them is extremely more than it is theirs for me. I know it.
Like that.
I know it. Like we said earlier. So the other side of it is it's a struggle because you like, man, like who I got, like I'm working every day, I'm doing this, I'm hustling, I'm making my money in the legal sense. Like nobody calling me no more because the good part of it is like they not calling you and it's good because that's showing you how far away from that nut stuff that you is or the foolishness that you is.
And there's a sense of respect.
Yeah, the sense of respect.
They don't want to hold you like, I ain't gonna call him, bro. He don't want to.
He chilling.
So it's like that's a respect thing too, but sometimes it do hurt you. Like, man, you look on
What
Instagram,
about
everybody in Miami. Dang, y'all ain't come out. Y'all ain't even get a text. Like, damn, like y'all just left me out. Like, but I understand it. They turning up and they know I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Y'all need that. So does that? So that leaves you space, right? Because y'all, I heard you say you married.
Say people and things.
Yeah, and okay, so good. So that kind of pushes you more into the family role, right? It pushes you more to like, because at the end of the day, I feel like the person that you deal with plays a major part on the things you indulge in, don't indulge in. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you have somebody that requires certain things from you, right? And it pushes you into spaces you don't belong in, right? So I think that the person you deal with is extremely important to deal with somebody that's on the same, mind track. You have to, because especially because I know you've been going for a while, but you had a nice little run, right? And you the money, the lifestyle,
Right.
all of that stuff. So you used to attracting certain type of woman and stuff, right? When you was in the street life, right? So it's like, so how important was it when y'all did go ahead and settle with? Because I know I think y'all both married, right? So like, how did y'all how did you choose this is who I would settle with, and know that this person, because I know they do y'all well. You know what I mean? Your wives do y'all well. So like, how important was that to settle with the right woman? Being as though y'all been through a lot, streetwise, life-wise, all of that. How important was that?
That's very important. Like you said, when you in the street, you dealing with different women and all that stuff, man. I ain't proud of it. Like I'm saying, it was at times I might have been dealing with 8 girls at a time or something like. You know what I'm saying,
wow.
just messing around,
More
just
days
being
than a
in
week.
the way. Like you know what I'm saying, like you in the street, you think you somebody. Like you know what I'm saying, like the chicks like you, they might like your assets, they might like that you get some money. Somebody might actually think you handsome and cute, and they just want you. Like you know what I'm saying, it just be a lie. And I was burnt out. Like you know what I'm saying, like after a while I be looking at dudes now that's like, oh man, I'm getting chicks now. I got this one and that one and that. And I be looking like, bro, you ain't tired? Like you get tired, like that burn. Like when I tell you that's a burnout, trying to juggle between different women, man. Like that will drive you insane, man. And I just was like, you know what I mean? Like I just knew it was time for me. Like once I met my wife and all that stuff, like we was kicking it and I liked her. I really like. I'm that type of person. Like I really like you. And I started really liking her. You know what I'm saying? I'm digging it. I'm digging her vibe, and I'm seeing like, all right, she a little different. You know what I mean? My wife a little older than me. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, okay, like she was different from what I was used to dealing with. Like I'm dealing with these little. Can you get my hair done? Can you get my nails done? You know what I mean? I'm dealing with a bunch of little M's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Little M's. You bring me something to eat. You bring me some food. And like, I'm dealing with a bunch of little M's. And she was like the total opposite. Like, she didn't need me for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, all she did, she just wanted some time from me. Like, I like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like you. You know, and, once we started really kicking and we got into each other, we made it official. Like I'm saying, I was done, man. Like I'm that type of person. Once I feel like I'm done. It just happened like that for me. Like I be burnt out. Like I'm saying, like even with the rap music, like like I said, I've been doing it for 20 years. People in my DM every day, yo, when you gonna drop something? When you gonna? Done. Like you know what I'm saying? Like and they don't understand that. Like it's hard for your fans to understand like you done. Nigga, like what you mean? Like we need music, these corny niggas, come on, pretty like you know what I'm saying? And I get it, I'm grateful for my fan. I love my fan. They supported me all these years. I get it. But y'all gotta understand, I'm a human man. Like you know what I'm saying, like they look at it like they so used to like Creed the rapper and all that, they be forgetting like what about Creed the man? Y'all don't understand, y'all don't think I'm tired? I've been chasing the rap stuff for 20 years. I'm a little burnt out, y'all. Give me a break, like you know what I'm saying.
Give me a break.
Give me a little break, like you know what I'm saying. But it just happened for me. Like damn, I'm tired. I'm done. And I was done. I was done with dealing with the wrong type of women and going through drama with them chicks and all that. Like you be burnt out. I was just burnt out. I was burnt completely out. You know what I'm saying. She was something totally different than I ever had, and I think that's what made me really like go ahead over and lock in with her.
Good. Shout out to your wife for that. I like that.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah.
Yeah, he needed that.
Me, some like mine a little different, because like, so in Islam, you can have like plural situations. So mine was a little different because when I was in the foxhole, you heard me.
You know
Wait,
what I
in the
mean.
foxhole.
You know what I mean? Somebody came in there looking for me. You know what I mean? And I appreciated that. Came in there, give me shine the light. You know what I mean? Here I go. So,
I can't with him.
it's different. I was telling y'all last time, Islam is inward out. So you take the rights and responsibilities first, like you marry first, and then you owe this person these rights. Like these rights can't be played with or broken, and then you build from there. So by me being home and working and doing all this, I'm building, and I'm happy to have somebody to build with, because you need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, like I said, it's different for me because I was away. My mind is worked different. I'm a little cooked.
Yeah.
So I gotta develop into certain things a different way. It's kind of like what I was telling you, even like, I always tell women this that deal with somebody that's coming from, I ain't talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm talking about somebody that's decades and up. It's a different thing that they gotta process. Like, sometimes women expect a man to come in and right away know how to be Julio Don Juan. And sometimes you gotta like learn how to develop them things, and you gotta,
Absolutely.
so it's like a constant learning process. For me, I keep it a bean. Like I'm trying to learn how to be, and it's cool because I'm not abusive. I don't argue. I don't curse. I don't do none of that stuff. But I'm still learning how to be a better. Like I'm trying to learn how to just do the things that, because I feel like when you communicate well, these things happen. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that she had the patience to allow me to, it ain't always easy, because I'm chasing, trying to make sure ain't nobody gonna feed me when I'm hungry or put a roof over my head when I ain't got no roof as a man. So I always gotta feel like I gotta, and it go back to like pride with men in different ways. I might not be prideful against another man, but I might be prideful as a man. Like, oh, I ain't trying to be in my mom's basement. I ain't trying to just live off no woman. Like, I'm coming in your spot, kicking my feet up, driving your car, eating your food, spending and not helping. You know what I mean? I ain't that. So that's a process to make sure that I don't become that. So sometimes that could be hard to deal with because it ain't always understandable for a person to feel like, look, I got you. This is what I got, is what you got. Now for me it's like this. Man, too many people told me that I had them, but they ain't had me. Let me make sure I got me. I'm gonna make sure we got another boat right here though. That way, if this boat get a hole in it, I know to die right in that boat. And I can't help but to think like that.
Absolutely.
I can have the best
You have to.
situation, woman, this, that, in the world, but I'ma always think like that because I've been let down too many times, and I ain't like. And know how crazy being let down is, right? Because I'm one of them people that I don't put expectations on people. I try to be. I call myself a factuality, a reality type of thinker. Like I think about the facts of reality, not what I want it to be. But you still get the times when you got people who try to plead with you that they got your back. And you like, you know what? You playing hard enough. Even though I don't, you know what? Let me. And then they let you down, or they
But
cross
they
you.
even gotta say it. Their actions just show you. So that's how you know they BSing.
They'll put forth actions to an extent. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Are they all married?
No.
You smiling like you got something going on.
Yeah, like you got
I said don't marry some stuff.
You know, I got something in the
You must be
works.
on the verge. Borderline.
I got my hook
She
out.
borderline married.
He funny.
You trying on? How do y'all feel about that though? What's your whole thing like? Turning the situation on having somebody, because I think we both thankful for the people that's in our lives. So how do y'all feel on the flip side of having the person in your lives to help you see forward. But, I got a question. So I know y'all been through a lot, right? I'm always asking y'all. I'm not gonna go through without no question. What's some of the things y'all been through, right, in relationships that make you look for a certain thing in the next man that you decide to share your space with?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What are some things that y'all been through? Wow. Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you go through a lot of different things, right? Honestly, for me, I just feel like each phase of my life is something different, right? Some stuff is basics that I need, right? It don't matter. That's never going to change. The loyalty, the communication, you know, the respect, you know, and the selflessness. And you know, I always talk about that you got to be selfless dealing with me, right? Because at the end of the day, if I deal with you, I deal with you.
Right.
It's not halfway. It's not. It's 150 in there, right? So, and you got to look at those red flags, right? You said, what do we do in a prior relationships, and then you walk into something else different. Me, I never knew how to stick and stay, right? I tried it. I crossed my T's and I dot my I's. Now, if you make me feel away, you know what I mean? Because I give you, a blank canvas to do what you want and see what you do, right? And then the more you show me who you are and the things that I know that I'm dealing with, I'm out. And that's just real talk, right? So now going forward, I knew that I couldn't always run from everything, and nothing's gonna be perfect at the same time. And it was like, you gotta be able to. I'm big on friendship first. You gotta be my friend first.
No doubt.
Right? Like,
That's
I
it.
have to be able to talk to you about literally anything. If I say, well, I would call up, yo, why such and such in the day? You know what I mean? I'm calling him up, right? And you gotta always know, like, for me, it's not always about you, right? Like, cause all the times people just get into stuff and really soak it up. Like, I'm having a bad day. How the hell we get on what you got going on? You know, let me have a moment, right? You gotta have that moment, and you gotta be on the same page too, though. We gotta be going to the same place. Like, and I'm not saying my goals is your goals, but we gotta have something together that we're working towards. You know what I mean? And like I always told you, in the last podcast, you know, I already come equipped, right? I'm not looking like where your money at. Yes, you gotta have your own stuff going on, absolutely. But I'm not the stuff that I need, money can't buy.
Right.
You know, so I don't care. You can't impress me with no money. You can't impress me with. I know, even as a teenager, I've never seen why people. Are you seeing this car? And I don't care about no damn car. You know what I mean? I don't care with no damn jewelry. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff, right? I never did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like priceless stuff. Like, you really got to show up priceless. Like, for me, like, everything that I need, you can't even put a price tag on it. And I just noticed, I just started to look at it for what it is. You know, we see potential in people and we try to, like, work that stuff up out of them and all of that. But no, you have to literally, if somebody's showing you this is what it is at the end of the day. And know what you can't deal with. Like, and I know your ex I was married before, you know, went through a divorce and stuff like that. And that made me realize, and I used to like to have me like a glass of wine or something, but he was a drinker. And it's like, don't even come around me, please. Like, I don't even care to, like, give me a little drink, occasionally drink or nothing no more, because the type of person I was married to that drunk so much and caused so much havoc. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's another thing. I'm like, no, you drink, I don't even want the daggone part to you. And I know drinking is not like a crazy thing, but it could turn to somebody who's like an alcoholic. You know what I mean? So, and that right there for me, nah, you can't be a drinker. I'm sorry. That really heavy on me. You know, and even down to a person, like, another thing that I know that I can't deal with. If you are making me be accountable for things that transpired way before you, like, I didn't even know you when certain things was going on. What that got to do with me? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's just a lot of different things you notice, and you know that you're not going to deal with. But when I love you, I love hard. You know what I mean? I know that about myself. No, I don't let everybody close to me. It just don't work that easy for me. You know, I really got to see you as a person, because I'm checking it I'm looking at what you got going on from the door. I'm listening to your conversation matter. And guess what? It's not even so much how you do it. I'm looking at how you do it with other people. Because it just ain't my turn yet, right?
Right, no doubt.
Exactly. So that's just for me.
Let me ask you this before you go on, and you can take this too.
How you want?
No, it's the same. No, sorry, it's the same
Yo,
thing.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's the same thing, but it's add-on, so you can go to it, and I don't gotta ask you.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted her to name a few things from the woman's perspective. This could teach us something, and whoever else that might be listening. Because you said that you care more about the priceless things, and even though every woman is different, that's why I want you to answer it too. I don't want to have to cut you on the
We
back.
could have got to that after the fact, but okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I'll
Go
forget.
ahead.
But just give us a few priceless things that men could do for women in general. You two, that's considered price. After you answer the first question.
How you want?
After she
Funny.
finished.
Go ahead.
Because I got to get some out of y'all if I leave this joint.
Time.
But priceless.
Time is priceless. Really, honestly, that's one of the things you got to give me some time now. I don't need all your time because I'm busy. But make sure we have time for each other. That's important, right? The time is important. You gotta. What's priceless for me is you gotta be open-minded. You know what I mean? You really gotta be open and that communication. It's one thing we could be sitting here going back and forth all day. Are you understanding me? You feel where I'm coming from? Like, if you ain't got that, we could say all day, but we be talking. What kind of talking are y'all doing? Did we still leave away with the same issues? You know what I mean? And respect. Let me tell you, I know me as a woman. If I respect you, I ain't even want to deal with you. Once I got to start getting crazy up in this mouth of mine, it's kind of exit stage left for me. Because everything else that went out the door for you. And you forced me to that. I didn't just come like that. Because like I said, I show up, everything is there. And then once you start acting out, you're done. And I'm getting crazy, and I don't want to do that though. I just feel like if I ever had love for you, why do I have to go there with you? So so respect, communication, time, open-mindedness, and you have to be you gotta have something going on. We both gotta have something going on.
No doubt.
Too much time in your hands is trouble, ain't it? All kinds of trouble. So that's my priceless stuff.
Well, to answer the first question.
Oh yeah, let me
I
drink my water.
was waiting
All right.
I was waiting for you to come.
Okay. For one, I've been engaged before, right? And I always say what you've been through teaches you, exactly what you want, what you're willing to deal with, and what you're willing to accept and not accept, and all those different things, right? And for me, I don't want to deal with nobody who is selfish. Somebody who plays the victim. I don't want nobody that sit around and plays the victim all day. The poor me mentality is just, I can't, it's not given, It's like, why not find a solution to what's happening versus you being a victim? That ain't sexy. Can't. Now, everything ain't about you is a big one, because for one, like I said, empathy. You have to be empathetic to what's happening and what's going on. Because at the same time, you have an individual that'll play off your empathy, because I know who I am as an individual, and I'm genuine, and I know what I bring to the table at the end of the day. And a lot of times you have some men that'll play on it and utilize that to their own benefit, and that right there, I ain't got time for. So you definitely have to be understanding, and somebody that's really utilizing their active listening skills, because if you don't have active listening and that comprehension piece, it's nothing. Because we can argue, but nothing is being resolved. Nothing's being solved or anything. You just had an argument, and then you looking around forced to let things be what it is.
I can't do it.
And that's a big one. Because when you're in a relationship, and it has to be both parties, it has to really be a mutual thing, and it has to be reciprocated. So if you got somebody that's constantly upset, or being mad all the time, and you're trying to figure out what they mad about, and they're not really saying until days later you find out they got an issue with you. That's a problem. I'm not dealing with nobody that's not being upfront with me. You have to be upfront, honest with me, you know. And the loyalty piece is a big one too, because you can love somebody and not be loyal to them. You can love them but don't be, you know. So that's a big one as well. And the respect thing, that's a big one too, because by any means, I'm not dealing with no disrespect in no way, shape, or form. You know, being in certain positions and different relationships taught me that. Like, no, you know, and those red flags is a big one, because we tend to, you know, say to ourselves, it's not a big deal. We tend to lie to ourselves. And for me, I'm not lying to myself about what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling the ways that I'm feeling. You know, so we tend to say, oh, that ain't no big deal. That ain't nothing. And you find yourself brushing stuff under the rug that you don't need to brush under the rug. You know, that's a big one too. But, you know, as a woman, I don't want no sympathy, anything. And that's what I felt like when I got that ring. With the ring, like, oh, you might as well get a bitch a ring. That type of thing. I always say that. Because a lot of the times, you know, women that been around, or, you know, been around for some time, and then men say, you know what, they get an epiphany and say, you know what, she been around, you know what, let me just go ahead and throw her this doggy bag real quick. And then that's it, you know. So that for me is a big thing. Like in a relationship, you gotta love me unconditional. You know, there's no pussyfooting around, playing around with me, none of that kind of stuff. And I guess what's a real one is you being my friend and not acting like you're down for me and you're not. Like, you gotta really be truly who you say you are. You know, because a lot of people put on those facades when it comes to relationships. You look around and be like, well, dang, I thought you was this individual, and then nowadays it's like, hold on, what's happening here? So that's just that.
And I don't care if believe we forgot support. You gotta show up.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yes. Support.
You know, when you got a lot of stuff going on, you need that person that support it.
And like you said, that time, and it's the simple things. The simple things. You know, I'm not all pressed about your money. Your money can't show me how you are. It can't show me anything. You, as your character shows me how you are as an individual. You know, and another thing is, like, when a man, they mother. How you deal with your mother speaks a lot to me as well.
Yeah, kind of, sort of, but you know, and
for me,
no, that's big. But under the same breath, like, what kind of mom was she? You know what I mean? Because moms really teach their sons how to be emotional. Mom really, like, set the tone for a lot of different things. And oftentimes when you see men not in a good space with their mom, they carrying something from their childhood, right? You know, so, and it's sad because that's like a touchy one. Right? Because you want to see, because it needs to be addressed at the end of the day. But that more so be like from the childhood stuff, and they don't know how to let that go, because you taught me what a woman is supposed to be. You opened up my eyes to love and all of that. So yeah, men that carry a certain way about their mom in a negative sense, she hurt them already before anybody else can hurt them. She disappointed them already. So. Yeah, but if you have a mom that been good to you, you disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's something totally different.
Yeah, you have those like that are good moms, but the man, you know, and they probably got that they could have got that from their father, and
yeah, kind of, sort of too. Yeah.
So yeah.
So what you think about, like you guys said, disrespect, right? When you feel like you're flying off at the mouth. What do you think?
I said that.
Yeah, you said when you do
So
something,
if it gets to that point,
Like, y'all see, I love y'all active listening skills. I did say that.
What do you feel like make women get to a point? And I know this is just your perspective.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want nobody to be like, well, I feel like. But what do you think? When y'all get to a point where I think that, and I see this happening a lot, especially now, and I always be sitting back thinking, like, I wonder what's getting women to a point where they feel like they talking at men.
They fed up.
With men.
They're fed up.
They're coming from
You're
a place
not
that
playing. Not even only that, like, men aren't being men. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Another
when you sit there, this is the thing, right? If you're allowing a woman to have to carry everything, right? What kind, especially if you're not on hard times, that's two total different things. Because I understand that, I respect that. Especially like y'all situation, y'all was coming up out the street, like y'all going the straight path. I understand that's the process, right? I'm not expecting you to come the way you came when you had street money. I'm not expecting that from you. I get it. I know it. Okay, cool. Now, if you already got yourself together and you can contribute in any kind of ways, do it. I don't want to tell you how to be a man. I don't. Now, if I could show you ways to love me, absolutely, because everybody got their own love language, right? But you can't, like, just like you shouldn't be telling me how to be a woman. I should be equipped already, right? But if you got certain things you like for your woman to do, then we can have that conversation. Like, oh, I like it better like this, or could you do this, or could you do that? That's something different. But men aren't men. If I don't respect men that don't take care of their children. I don't respect men that don't got nothing going on. I don't respect men that do snake stuff to their friends. You know what I mean? I just don't respect a lot of different things that men be doing. Like, it just be crazy to me, right? Some stuff I just can't wrap my mind around. I don't think I ever would, right? Mm-hmm. But when you see a woman talking to a man like that, she's sick of him. She's fed up with him not doing either nothing. Man, there's so many different things. And then they kind of sort of like make you the blame of the stuff that they got going on. How is that my fault that you ain't got nothing going on?
No accountability. That's
you know what I mean? So no, now I'm gonna get up out this mouth on you real quick because you got me messed up.
Now I gotta take
you know,
it back.
and don't nobody feel like that.
Right.
I like my peace. You know what I mean? I don't got time to be getting into no debates with you. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I got other stuff to worry about. So if I have to go there with you, I don't need to be around you, period. That's male or female. And that's just that. So what's your take on that?
Girl, you got.
Think she fixing it?
Oh wait. All right. So you got like on some real stuff. You got a lot of men that'll portray one way, and then after a while, like women get fed up with the different things that's going on, right? But you have men that don't like paying bills. Or you have men that's okay with doing a bare minimum, and they think that what they're doing is enough. And this is where, as a woman, you get tired. Like, you think the bare minimum is enough? That's not enough. You barely paying bills. You barely doing anything. Like, you know. So that right there is a big one as far as the disrespect go. Like, now I gotta dig in. Like,
so is you saying, like, what she's saying, like, barely paying bills, like, he had these responsibilities, but he fell on hard times, or he had
the hard times thing is a total different ball game. That's just that's
so
I'm
married a dude who made less than you, but all he could.
But that don't have the thing is, if somebody made less than me, I'm understanding to that.
Okay.
It's how you are as an individual. It's not about a dollar. It's about who you are as a character and what you are doing as an individual. It could be somebody that make less than you, but be like, listen, I got this, I'm doing this. They holding up their end of the bargain. Right. Exactly. They determined. You know, they're willing, ready, and able to provide and be a provider. So it's not even about the dollar sign, and it's not about, you know, because when you come into a relationship, you know, it's like, dad, like, I got you, you got me, on that type of time. So if the person fell on hard times or the man fell, you know, that's something totally different. You got men that'll sit here and expect, they have the expectation that the woman is going to carry them, being as though the type of woman that they go into a relationship with, and the woman be like, damn, I got you, you know, X, Y, and Z. But here it is, the woman is expecting for you to get your stuff together and be able to say, you know what, I got you. Not nobody that's just going to completely be a leech off of you.
But women don't do that anyway.
You know,
so,
you know what I'm saying? You know,
that's
I'm not
crazy.
dealing with no leech, period. But I'm just saying, like, this is how some women will get disrespectful because they're tired. They're like, you know what, you a bum, like, or they might present certain things and be respectful in presenting them, but it goes like what, like it's not even being heard.
But you know, it's so crazy. I blame some women for that though, because some women like that.
Yeah, they like taking care of men.
Yeah, they like that because
what about
they
the woman, or not even a woman that like to take care of men? What about the woman that's fed up and tired, like you said?
Right.
But they stay.
They don't know how to leave.
There you go.
It's like staying when you already left. It's like
mentally you gone,
but you're still here. It's like what else are you holding on to at the end of the day? So it's kind of hard to really say why some of these women stay in these certain situations. Sometimes women stay in situations just to say that they have somebody. They don't know how to say, oh, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Or they put on a facade like, oh, everything going good. But here it is. It's craziness going on in their household, but they put on a facade for everybody else. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, a lot of people can see what's happening on the outside looking in like, oh, yeah, she really probably doing X, Y, and Z. So a lot of women don't know how to stand up and say, listen, this is what it is. This man ain't holding up the end of his bargain or whatever. So a lot of women don't really know how to say, listen, I'm good. You know, they hold up an image for everybody else.
Yeah. They don't have to be real about it.
Absolutely.
That's what burned me out, the bum man joint. Like
said the bum man joint.
Excluding everybody that's falling on hard times, just like with a valid excuse. Like I feel like that's where the respect level of men in general is going down the drain. Is because the majority, like when you a certain type of man, I'm not gonna say you think all men are like that because you got friends and homies and everybody. Most of the time, your homies is somewhat similar to you, even though y'all might got little different stuff about y'all. But then you got that one homie everybody know you like, yo, he be on so whatever. But it's to the point where I feel like women is doing too much, and now I feel like when you come to the table, whatever y'all come to the table, and as an old-fashioned man, a lot of times we gonna take on most of the weight, or if not all. Mm-hmm. So I feel like when men is not doing that, it's causing women to start jumping out there with their mouths and getting crazy, and they bringing that to their next situation. So now when a good dude comes who's all for it and he's gonna handle his business, she's struggling to communicate or to gel with this man because of all the build up and nonsense and confusion and the letdowns and all this different stuff that she went through with the previous mishap.
No, that's sad. No, that's why I say, before it get tainted, like me tainted, I'm out. Like I'm not dealing with none of that anyway. So I don't get really. I can understand it. Like I'm not even going to even put myself in that situation anyway. Like it don't even make sense. Like why? Like when you already got your kids. Depending on you got your bills. Depending on you got your own goals that you're trying to accomplish. What happened?
You're not about to tear me down where I'm not good for my next relationship. No.
That's what be happening.
And some women
that makes me sad for women like that.
Some women are damaged in that way,
Yes, they are.
But you're not gonna chip away at me to the point where I'm not good for nobody. Not happening.
Cause somebody, it's always like I said, everybody's not perfect. None of us is, right? But when you're a solid individual, and that's why I always give the giver and the taker thing. Like when two givers get together, the stuff is crazy. It's endless, right? But when you and the giver and the taker situation, it's always going to be unbalanced. It's always going to be dysfunction one way or another. And you just got to know, what's for you though. Like who you dealing with. Know who you dealing with. Like a lot of people feel like, let me prove myself. What did they prove to you yet? Like.
Why you
showing up? You pulling all the tricks out the bag. Like, what did they do for you yet, though?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people want to show so bad that yes, there's a lot of independent women. Yes, there's a lot of men that's about their business. Yeah, all the above. I get it. But is they even worthy of all that of you yet? You know what I mean? Like everybody want to throw it out there so fast. Choose me, pick me.
But if somebody,
what are you getting though?
If you bring value, somebody want to see that value. You don't have to put on a magic show and do backflips for somebody to see
but
the value
do,
in you.
Though. I don't understand it. Like you know what I mean?
I can't identify with
and a
that.
lot of men like they not even going to like really choose their one. Like they be dealing with the ones with doing the bare minimum. Like real talk because none's a chase. Then I gotta figure you out. Like let me see what else she got going on.
And they play against that.
So it's like you gotta be able. I'm just me at the end of the day, and that's just there. All I can do is show up as me. Yeah. Take it or leave it. And how I deal with you, it gets deeper and deeper on how you deal with me. when it's
There's
all said and done.
levels.
You know, and like I said, I don't give a damn going about, yes, of course, everybody like something every now and again, things that I didn't ask you for, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Little thoughtful things is what gets me every time, right? But it just all depends on laying it all out there. Know who you're dealing with. Know what you want, what she want, what y'all want as a whole. Like, and that's just that because we all been hurt before. We all been disappointed. We all, man, the list can go on. It can go on for, we could be here all night talking about that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So just show up as you. Know what you want. Keep that line of communication open always. I think a lot of people need to, if they don't already, do like check-ins, like weekly check-ins, or like, cause I know, you know, every day, what you have on, you know, that's part of the day every day, right? But make sure y'all, you know, talking about your stuff, cause everybody want to say
And understand each other's triggers.
the relationships, right?
Yeah.
But everybody got something going on. It's okay to spice it up or tone it down. Look, speak it, say it. Like, you should be able to be raw and real with who you deal with. That way that stuff can keep growing stronger and stronger. Without you laying that foundation, that's what you're getting, right? I don't know if you can really dig that cement up to it, or unless you're gonna re-put it down there again, but you gotta know what you're pouring into your situation. You know if that's the one for you. If it's not, just know what you know and move forward. Like, I feel like we got too much going on to be like second guessing who beside us. Like, I'm not doing it, female or male. And the minute people show you are, move them on up out the way.
All right, watch out.
And that's just that. It's simple mathematics, honestly. And that's just it. Listen, y'all know I enjoy having y'all on, and I just want to say that I'm happy that both of y'all are, you know, on the path that y'all on, right? Like, so many people don't get to make it up out of their situations. Every day I'm just so tired. That's why I stopped watching the regular news, but now we got social media, and from 911 fully to no gun zone, I just can't, at this point I really can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, first it was like, guys in their 30s, 40s getting killed. They still as bad as the teenagers now.
Young.
They getting,
Kids.
it's just like, you never even really heard of that. Like, back in the day, you might have heard a kid here and there getting killed, but this stuff is crazy, right?
Wow.
So yes, I'm just happy that, you know, you're both settled. You're both, you know, working on what you're working on. And we definitely, I gotta look at your thing to check out what you did have going on since you like kind of like retired now or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you always come with the good stuff. You always gotta have his own questions when he come on the couch.
Yeah.
Can't never leave without it just being him answering up on something. You know, and I just want y'all, because like I said, I just want y'all to stay on the path that y'all on. And I both heard y'all say, like, your religion really, like, put y'all in different spaces in life,
Definitely.
right? And that's a beautiful thing. Not a great thing, but a beautiful thing. Because whatever it takes, just keep going at it. I don't care what it takes. Them tests gonna come up. Whether, I know y'all ain't getting called to go to Miami and Atlanta and none of that, but y'all be alright. Y'all be alright. Y'all better create your own trips with the people that's on the same page as y'all.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Now they gonna be looking they because y'all ain't in that crowd no more. You know, so yeah, just keep doing your thing. And that's just that, seriously, because we need y'all. I know we
what
need
you
y'all.
mean. Yeah,
And that's just that.
Definitely.
And this is Nash signing off.
Ed signing off.
Neighborhood wise man, the boss he hot.
Man, Fortune, man.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.